Hey everybody, my name is Cozy, and to address the title right off the rip, I will say that this is going to be my last YouTube video for the foreseeable future. I don't know when or if I will ever be back. Which is, I think our first video went up back when this was still Unconventional Gentlemen, back in October, I think it was October 23rd of 2017. So I've been doing this just over 6 years. I've been uploading videos, not on a set schedule the whole time, but over 6 years that I've been working at this. And it's not something that I take lightly. It's something that I've thought about doing for a while, but I kept wanting to try and come back to it, or try to make it work, or I guess really just hope that at some point I would get past this mental block that I have in my head. And it's just not happening. I've talked about this a lot before, about how something just ain't right. I don't need to rehash ideas that I've already talked about. And full disclosure, this is actually my second time recording this video. The first time I had like a script written out with a bunch of points on it that I wanted to talk about, basically detailing the whole history of the channel and how I got to this point and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I think it's good thoughts. Maybe at some point in the future, if I ever come back to this, I'll do like a historical retrospective, but the video got to be 45 minutes long and I still wasn't done. I was like, okay, maybe this is not the time to do this. But yeah, something I wanted to make abundantly clear is that actually, I mean, this seems like something that you would do if it brings you, like you're in a bad spot. I'm going to drop a hobby. But I wanted to be clear that it's actually quite the opposite. I find myself now enjoying work a lot more than I ever did before, and enjoying life a lot more than I have before, and having a better time when I'm at home. And this, as weird as this is, even when I'm at home, there are parts of me, or some parts of me, that's like, I'm excited to go to work tomorrow, or I'm excited to get this stuff done tomorrow, or I'm excited to accomplish this task at work, because I am not this pro work dude. I don't take your work home with you, that type of shit. I'm not one of those dudes. But there's something about the people that I work with. It's such a good team. Anyway, it's getting off track, but that's to say, work's good, life's good. I'm going on trips with Hannah, who is, by the way, now my fiance. Yay! And shit's just good, man. But one of my favorite things is to listen to talk shows. And when I say talk shows, I mean stuff like a one-on-one with people that I just get a kick out of listening to. For example, I've been listening to a lot of Rooster Teeth stuff, like So All Right and Anma. It's just something about, listening to these people talk about their life. It's like a little slice of life type thing. I love that type of shit. And one of the things that I've heard, not on either of those podcasts, I forget where it comes from. I think it was actually Joey Diaz. He was saying, sometimes you just got to set things down. You have to set things, they might be for a couple months, it might be for years, but you got to set it down and come back to it when the time is right. And I just think that that's where I am, because the thing is, I still love video games. I mean, a lot has changed in the past 6-7 years, as it should have. I mean, we're going from my second year of college to now. But that's not one of them. I still love playing video games. But, I mean, I will say my taste in video games has changed. But it's not that. It's not that I'm, too old for video games. And, I mean, it's not that I'm dislike making videos for YouTube. But as I said, something just isn't right. And I don't know what it is. If I ever come back, we can speculate on this in the future, but there's just this mental block in my head that I can't get past. And that leads to me, like, more often than not now, I seem to be making videos that I make them and I put them out, and then I can't help but think that was just a mediocre video. Like, I didn't enjoy making it as much. I didn't enjoy editing it that much. And now that it's out there, it's more like a check mark done off a list. And that's, like I've said before in some of these one-on-ones with all of you, that's not what this should be. This is not my fucking job. This is not my source of income. This is a source of enjoyment. At least it should be. Which is what's sort of frustrating about it. And I try to figure out in my head, but I'm still working on it. Because it's something I enjoy, but it's also something I don't enjoy. And these things, you know, they just don't mix. And I can't tell you why. So, and I was talking about, you know, a lot of things are going really great for me. And I think that it's because of that. You know, I need to take a look at things. Why am I doing a hobby that I don't enjoy? That the day before I have to record, up to when I record, and like I said, as of recently, even once a video is posted, I can't enjoy it. The last time I had a lot of fun playing Minecraft. That was genuinely fun. But I can't help but feel like the desire, you know, we started getting back to Minecraft. None of us talked about recording it. That wasn't even the plan. But when we got back in it, I saw we were having a good time and talking about stuff, shooting the shit, silly stuff happening. I was like, I should record this, you know, and I'm glad I did. I think everyone's glad that I did. You know, me, Jonah Taylor, and Hannah, rewatching those videos is just fun. But we stopped with about 2 more things to do because my hard drive was full. We just, you know, we kept recording, and these are like 2-hour videos. So I was like, I don't really want to edit that. And so I said, hold on. Before we fight the Wither, before we go to these underwater monuments or whatever they're called, let me edit this stuff down, then we can go back to it. And that killed it. I mean, we still did a few things when we were in our Minecraft phase. You know, you get a Minecraft phase like every 2 or 3 years. But being out of things to do and not wanting to do the final things without recording it, I can't help but feel a little bit guilty, because I feel like the recording it, as fun as it was and as nice as it'll be to look back in however many years and see us playing Minecraft, I can't but feel like it killed it a little bit. And it got in the way of the fun. And that's what I'm worried about with other games as well. You know, I have a good time playing Regiments. The last video that I put out before this one, I had a good time. Recording it, the whole fucking time I was like, I'm saying stupid shit. Or the commentary's no good. The gameplay's no good. When the AI took the lead, fuck, that's no good. That should have been me. You know, I'm back here counting all my troops, and the game's like being won for me. You know what I mean? And by myself, to a certain extent, that's fine. You know, it's like I'm covering this flank the AI's pushing. The little headcanon, you know, you've got going on is the story's writing itself. But for that instance of playing the game, I was more frustrated than fucking anything else. And I feel like that's happening more and more. For Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, I replayed that game up to the point, like after we played that game from the beginning up to when we got back to the middle area after we defeated Valraven. I played that by myself because I wanted to become reacquainted with how the game works and all that stuff, since I hadn't played it or recorded it in like a year. That was like an hour and a half that I just played by myself. And I appreciated that game so much more than my first playthrough when I was recording everything of it. I was having such a good time, noticing all the beautiful shit, commenting on it like in my mind saying, wow, that's really nice, you know, but not having to vocalize it or not feeling the pressure of making this interesting for anyone but myself. And that was fucking awesome. And then I turn on the camera and I go to Surtur's side of the, you know, the map and trying to fight him, and I had a fine time, but the enjoyment was not the same. And I get worried that my enjoyment of these games is suffering for the sake of content that I don't feel is particularly enthralling. And so like the net is a negative, you know? I'm doing a hobby that I don't enjoy, and my enjoyment of the medium video games is suffering. And you can't help but feel the weight of that after a little bit, you know? Like fucking the Terra Nil demo. I played that shit like fucking 20 times when it was out. Now, you know, I played the 2 of the challenge levels. I can't bring myself back to do it. I don't fucking know why. And so in the absence of anything else, I mean, I look at it and I'm like, it's these games that I record that I wind up having an aversion to. And that sucks. You know, it's not good for me. It's not good for the channel. It's not good for anybody. I mean, and don't get me wrong, this bums me out. This is not something that I'm like happy to be shedding myself of per se. But I think it's something that needs to happen because it's just going to keep. Could it change? Sure. But I just feel like it's unlikely that my feeling towards this will change or that something's magically going to get better. And even if suddenly my views jumped from like 3 to 5 views to like 500,000, right, per video. Whoa, subscribers skyrocket, views skyrocket, all this stuff. Would that make it better? No, I don't think so. It'd probably make it fucking worse. Because then on top of these feelings I already have, it's like, oh, people are actually watching my stuff now. And please don't think if you do watch my content that I'm discounting you. I greatly appreciate it. But you know, there is the feeling of like, oh wow. And then not to mention once the money starts rolling in, and if that had happened where the views skyrocket and all that stuff like 3 years ago, and like I made that a career thing, you know, like, oh, I could keep doing this. I think I would always have that worry in my mind of this it's going to fall off, you know, or I'm going to underperform and it's all going to go away. And if that's your livelihood, I can imagine that would be very stressful all the time. And I can't put up with that kind of shit. So all that to say, this is not something, like I said, not something that I'm happy about doing per se, but it's something I think that I need to do. I need to just like live my life. You know, one of my favorite things to do is like I was just talking about, this slice of life. Podcasts or books or that kind of thing. I definitely a certain flavor, you know, but man, I just love hearing stories about people's lives. And I wish I had something that I could talk about. I mean, I love talking. Like I said, before this, I recorded a whole, the first time I recorded this video, it took 45 minutes and I still wasn't fucking done talking. But I feel like I would run out of things to talk about very quickly. And I need to live my life, you know? Because, you know, obviously the quote, like, life is what does it go? Life is what happens when you're making plans for something else or something. And I think, you know, the YouTube channel, it's a beautiful thing. And I mean, it's not going anywhere. I'm not deleting the channel. I'll still get notifications if you drop a comment on a video, or if like, you know, 6 months goes by, you just want to say hi, like I wonder how he's doing. You like drop a comment, assuming YouTube will fucking notify me about it. I still respond to it. You know, it's not like I'm cutting the cord for all the technology and I'm just gonna fucking disappear. But I'm not gonna be uploading for a while, and potentially forever. You know, one of the things I was thinking about when I was considering this was, I've talked about this before about like, oh, I need to give myself a break, like a month or 2 weeks or whatever it was. But I always had a time limit. And even if I don't remember, but even if at one point I did say, hey, I just need some time and I don't know when I'll be back, like that sort of thing. If I didn't say it in the video, I knew it in my head that I had a time limit. I had a date in mind that I would start picking things up again. And so in that regard, ever since I've started YouTube back in 2017, I've never given myself the option of just letting it go. Does that make sense? I've never given myself the option of saying, this might fade away into nothing. And being at peace with the idea that this is not what I thought it was going to be. It's certainly not what I ever wanted it to be. You know, I never wanted to dread having to make videos. Again, not the point. Not the point of a hobby. I mean, this whole thing feels, it's surreal. You know what I mean? Because was I someone like PewDiePie or any of these other big creators that upload something every day? Really not even big creators. There are some small creators out there that I see that do upload shit every day. So not even saying that it's only big creators, but I've never been the type of person to upload things every day. But nevertheless, having something that's been with you for, I mean, over 6 years of like actually publishing the videos, plus probably an additional year of like total of just trial and error mistakes and bunch of videos that just never came out because I fucked them into the earth. They were just chopped up and I couldn't make anything of it, or something was missing or whatever. I mean, that you can't help but feel a sense of loss. And again, I'm not committed to never coming back. This is not me saying I will never return to YouTube. Or I will never return to making videos. Well, you'll never see me again. But it is me saying that from a mature perspective, I need to give myself time to grow and to experiment with other things and to explore other hobbies. I mean, I'm just in my mid-20s. And I think anyone who's older than me would say you still got a lot of growing to do, obviously. But I mean, for me, telling myself this at 15, I was like, hey, I'm still not going to be totally sure about what it is that I want or what it is that brings me, you know, joy in terms of as a hobby. Like if you told me you're not going to have it figured out by the time you're in your mid-20s, I'd be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Because when I was 15, I had a plan. Not a plan that I followed, but back then I had a plan for my future. And I mean, it's like when I was 15, but by the time I started making content, you know, one of our plans was to actually get picked up by Rooster Teeth or Achievement Hunter or whoever, become like a subsidiary of them. When we started, we were like, yeah, we're going to do this and that and that. And then maybe once we get like 1,000 subs, we'll hit them up or say, hey, you know, we could do this and that. With, you know, big dreams, as they say. And it didn't happen. And that's fine. I think for a long time, you know, I just need to keep pushing. Eventually it'll pay off. And I think I got that so drilled into my head, especially during my college years when I had the extra time to make that kind of thing work. That I sort of these past few years have just been pushing it more absent-mindedly, because it's what I told myself I wanted for those first few years of making YouTube content. And I just didn't, I guess I couldn't bring myself to say, maybe it's time to back off. Maybe it's time to just let it go and see if it comes back. You know, again, I'm not committed to staying away from YouTube. I could be back playing games. Maybe I'll pick up some other shit, fucking woodworking or building things or, you know, reviewing movies. I don't know. But I'm not going to give myself a time limit. And of course, the thing with I'm not giving a return date, there's a chance I might never return. So I don't really know what much more I could say about things right now, other than I'm giving it time. I need time to grow. I could be back in a few months, could take a few years, could take many years. I don't know. But from the bottom of my heart, I truly mean this. Thank you for watching my videos. Some of y'all commented on my videos. There were people, man, there were a few people back in the day, as it was like they were my first recurring viewers, and we chatted. I was live streaming. They'd chat with me. They gave me video game suggestions, all that stuff. And even into, that was, must have been like 3 or 4 years ago. And then even 3 years ago, even recently, someone commented and say, "Hey, you remember me?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I do remember you." But I want to say thank you. It was those interactions that was like, whoa, like that was when the payoff happened, when someone was saying, "Hey, I enjoy what you're putting out. I'm going to interact with you," which gave me the opportunity to interact back. That was awesome. And not to sound like weird or sappy, but I will never forget that, because that is so cool. So thank you very much. And even if you've never interacted, never liked, subscribed, whatever, if you're just coming across this video at whatever point in the future, thank you as well, because it makes it all worth it. Whether or not we meet again, thank you all for joining me on this journey. You have impacted my life in the best ways, and I am forever grateful. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and spread love and warmth as you walk along your own path on your own journeys. Farewell, my friends.